Streaming now on IWTV, Action Wrestling. Check our schedule for all upcoming Action Wrestling events scheduled to stream live on IWTV. Watch over 90 Action Wrestling shows on demand anytime, featuring AC Mack, Adam Priest, Alex Kane, Cruel, and more. Streaming now on IWTV, Freelance Wrestling. Check our schedule for all future Freelance Wrestling live streams. Watch over 90 Freelance Wrestling events anytime on demand, featuring Brian Keith, Kylie Ray, Storm Grayson, Bang & Matthews, Effie, and more.
Hello everyone, welcome to the PW Pondings preview as WrestleMania weekend is coming up once again. But of course, it's not just a weekend. It's all week now. It's like a bajillion shows, and we're all super excited for it. But of course, we have you covered here for Indie Pro Wrestling. Of course, we're going to cover the major shows that are happening. There's tons of them. There's no way we can get through all of them. So we're going to focus this show on Shooting Star Fest and all the shows associated with that. Of course, I'm Chris GST, Senior Editor for PW Rings. I couldn't do this alone, so I have brought with us Managing Editor, Louis. Louis, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
Doing well. And one of our newest writers, Noah, which I probably should have asked you before the show how you wanted me to introduce you. But there you go. Now you know.
Appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you.
And this is, I would say, probably, I believe it doesn't hold record, but it definitely has, I think it is one of the most busiest weeks during WrestleMania week of all time. So like I said, we're just going to start running down the Shooting Star Fest schedule and getting into it, giving us thoughts, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Of course, as I said, this whole thing starts next Monday, but Shooting Star Fest starts on Wednesday, April 15th, and it starts off with Pandemonium Pro. And I got to say, shout out to Voices of Wrestling, a great guide to basically every single show that is happening that week. So shout out to them, really appreciate them as always. So check out their website. And I believe you can also help them out if you buy tickets to some of the shows through some of their affiliate links. So definitely do that if that is something you care to do. So yeah, guys, let's start with Pandemonium Pro Wrestling Whatever Forever. Starts at 3 o'clock. So I will just run down the card and then give me your thoughts. So the Pandemonium Pro Championship, Amaya, the champion, versus Janai Kai, and I am going to mispronounce names. I'm going to forewarn all of you of this. Sa'aida, and then Pandemonium Pro TV Championship, Vengador versus Jordan Saint, Parm Singh Men, I'm going to say Javi, and then Zeb Saint 1, and of course the Metal Mania Heavy Metal Championship, Dulce Tormenta, who's the champion, versus Frankie B, Alexis Littlefoot, MJ Santana, and Ko Alana. And then getting into, we have Johnny Robbie versus Natsupoi, New Fever versus Robert Martyr and Ryan Clancy, Eddie Grayson, Jaller, and Spencer Scott versus the Mexa Boys and Calabas. And then C4, Cody Chun, and Guillermo Rosas, and Steve Bradley versus No Bail Posted, Devious Cats, Jay Boozy, and you know what? I'm just going to say Junie Underwood, just because. And then we have Jocelyn Navarro versus Alexis Lee. Then we have Kid Isaac and In Chorus versus Cairo Leon and Bryce Kuza. And then Jaya Jewel versus Daisuke Sasaki. So, Noah, I'm going to go to you first. Any thoughts? What are some of the standout matches that you're seeing in this?
I'm seeing the Mexico Boys, and Calabas versus Eddie Grayson, Jack Valor, and Spencer Scott. I think that's going to be a great six-man match. And then you got New Fever against Robert Martyr and Ryan Clancy, which I feel like Ryan Clancy's been on a great run right now. And I think this match is going to show a lot of the fans that have not been able to see him yet what he's capable of and more. And then I think the best match is probably the most simple match. Jaya Jewel versus Daisuke Sasaki. It's going to be a phenomenal match. This man has been champion for a long time, and I can't wait to see what those two do in the ring.
Jaya is definitely one of my favorites. Being a Sacramento guy, and I get to see him here, he's pretty fun. Louis, anything stand out to you?
Basically everything that like Noah said. I do like a couple of the women's matches, the three-way match with Amira, Janai Kai, and Saya Ida. I'm not sure how to say her name. Interested in that one, and then also the four-way match, for the heavy metal championship. Dulce Tormenta, Frankie B, Alexis Littlefoot. Oh, it's a five-way. Sorry, MJ Santana and Miko Alana. And then I don't know. There's a lot of wrestlers on this show, and I'm not too sure what to expect from it. But however way you can watch it, I'm not sure if they even announced how you're able to watch it, if they're going to be live streaming or not. I think they usually put their stuff on YouTube, so I'll tune in for that, whether it's live or it comes out later on.
Okay.
Yeah, probably is a good host. I should have looked that up to see if where it was streamed. But like I said, tons of information. We're going to have all that information on the website. Of course, results the entire week. So be sure to follow us at pwponderings.com. So next up, still on Wednesday, 7 p.m., Unapologetic Pro, Sinner's Paradise. One of the most randomers ever. You got Tiger Mask, CJ Tino, El Mexica versus Fidel Bravo, Ricky G and Danny Rose, El Phantasmo versus Adrian Quest, Gypsy Mac versus Frankie B versus Alexis Lee versus Johnny Robbie, G Sharp versus Shreddy versus Jack Selstrom versus I almost said Brillante RB versus Calibus, and then Andrew Cass versus Miko Alana versus Bobby Orlando. And then the Santino brothers, Kid Destino and the DRE versus Affinity and 5 versus West Coast Girls, Live Danger versus The Boyfriends. So, actually, Louis, I'm going to go to you first. Anything on this show stand out to you?
Well, like you said, this is probably like the most random show. Like, I think other than like El Phantasmo versus Adrian Quest, that pretty much stands out to me. Also like the women's four-way, Gypsy Mac, Frankie B, Alexis Lee, and Johnny Robbie. But there's some pretty random stuff. Like there's this three-way, Andrew Cass, Miko Alana, and Bobby Orlando. That's probably one of the most random matches I've seen in the Shooting Star Fest. Out of all the announcements that's been made.
It has to be, right? Like, that's just so... I don't even understand that match. It's going to be a
I'm
lot of
not-
fun. I mean, I like Bobby Orlando, but it's random.
I just find it completely random. But, this card is like kind of... The whole card is kind of random, so I'm not sure what to expect from it.
Noah, what stands out to you?
So, like he stated in the beginning, like El Phantasmo versus Adrian Quest, which I think is going to be a great match. The five-way tag team match, which there is no stipulation from what I'm seeing. So it's just there's just like 10 people in the ring all fighting each other. It kind of stands out
All at once, right?
All at, I guess so. I mean, I don't see any other way how they can do this. But the Santino Boys versus Infinity 5, I'm just so many names. The West Coast.
If someone can explain to me how that works with a 5-person or not 5-person, 5-team tag team. Who is standing where? Where do you tag in and out? If someone has that figured out, let us know. But yeah, I pretty much agree with you. It's probably good. It's got to be like all 10 people in the ring at once, right?
It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. I'm looking at the names from this, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be crazy. I think the only names that kind of stand out to me is that they're bringing in Tiger Mask, from New Japan to this event, and this is gonna be something. This is gonna become something quite special for him to be. I don't know. I can't really think of anything for just seeing Tiger Mask at this event might be like the craziest thing this weekend. Well, one of the craziest things.
The wrestler's got to make that money. So if you're going to be there, right, just be on every show that you possibly can.
I guess so.
And there's a new Black Tiger too, right? It's
he's now in CMLL.
Yes. He used to be
let me look it up.
I'm blanking on the name, but anyway, maybe he'll show up too. It'll be fun. But guys, let's get into now starting the new initiative portion of the Shooting Star Fest. That starts on Thursday, 11 a.m. at the New Texas Pro Show. Sin Stampede. Not gonna lie, this show sounds amazing to me. You have the New Texas Pro Championship, Danny Orion, champion, facing Brian Keith. Do I have to say AEW is Brian Keith? Probably.
No, you don't.
New Texas Pro, the Women's Championship, Charity King versus Gabby Forza, Vinny Massaro versus Ollie Summers. I'm just going to still say Starboy Charlie because I can't remember the WWE name that he has now, but him, Cosmo Orion, and Epidemius Jr. versus Shimbashi, Dragon Kid, and Andrew Cass. Then Adam Priest versus Dustin Nguyen, which, underrated match, but the little bit I've seen of Dustin Nguyen, and of course Adam Priest is amazing, so we'll probably have a good match there. Dmitry Alexandrov versus Ishin, and then one of my favorite wrestlers, One Called Manders versus Timur the Great. Noah, I mean, this whole card, I have not watched a lot of New Texas, but since they've been bringing in a lot more talent that I recognize and getting me more interested in their stuff, this show sounds amazing. And you can watch it live on IWTV. I should mention that.
They gave you that one.
So what stands out to you on this card?
Dmitry Alexandrov versus Ishin, because I know Ishin's already going to be at the Death Invitational. And Dmitry Alexandrov is probably one of the premier deathmatch wrestlers at the moment. And I don't know, there's no stipulation that's showing.
I was actually just about to ask you because I didn't recall this being like a deathmatch. In fact, I don't think New Texas does a ton of those. So.
No, they don't. I think, but it's gonna be if it is a death match, I'm gonna be quite excited to see that. Another one is that they're bringing Dragon Kid in there for a 6-man tag match with Intricast Shimbashi, and they'll be going against Starboy Charlie, Cosmo Orion, and I'm gonna fuck up this name.
Epidemius? Yeah.
I'm hoping that's gonna be a great 6-man tag. Other than that, I think the only other match I'm looking at is Charity King versus Gabby Forza. And I think those are my 3 matches that I'm going to be quite excited to see on IWTV.
I was going to say, Gabby Forza just being on the card automatically means you're going to right?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. This looks like a great card. You know what? We can't forget about One Called Manders versus Timur the Great. We cannot forget about that either.
No. If that is the actual opener, like if this is listed in that order, I think that's good. Louis, any thoughts?
Yeah, well, like the New Texas Pro's like show card, it's pretty true to what kind of show they would give you if they were running in Texas. There's a few big names here and there, like Dragon Kid and stuff like that. But this is pretty true New Texas Pro card, and this is a good looking card. There's not really anything bad on here. I think it's going to be a solid show. One called Manders and Timur the Great. They both just lost their championships at New Texas Pro. One called Manders had the world championship, and Timur was the Lone Star champion. They, like I said, they both lost their championships at the last show, so they both kind of have something to prove here. Try to get back on track to their respective championships. Charity King versus Gabby Forza is a good-looking match. Even though, like the World Championship match, Danny O'Ryan, this is his first title match. He's defending against Brian Keith. It's a really good-looking match. I like the card.
For your first match. Hell of a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, he beat one called Manders for the championship. So, and then like right off the bat, he has to face Brian Keith, which is like dangerous challenge. Who even knows if he comes out champion?
Right. Keith is definitely on a roll. So, but yeah, it continues, and of course, all of this on IWTV. St. Louis Anarchy. Let Anarchy be Anarchy. This card is also a lot of fun to me. And Don't Care, favorites here at PW Ponies Gay and Aaron Williams versus Cowboy. One called Manders and Thomas Shire. Straight out of that WXW run, this is going to be, I think, a fantastic tag match. We have Matt Donnelly versus Derek Neal, another two favorites from PWP. Jeremy Wyatt versus Ryan Clancy, Billy Starks versus Davey Vega, Laney Luck versus Charlie Evans, Holiday versus Alex Duke, and Shazza McKenzie versus Ashlyn Alexander. Much like the New Texas Pro, I think this is pretty much a card. This would be a St. Louis Anarchy card, whether or not it was on the West Coast or not. And so I'm really looking forward to that. Noah, I mean, every one of these matches could be a banger.
Oh, yeah. I think the one that stands out that would be the best match would be Mad Dog Connolly versus Derek Neal. I think those two are just two forces of nature, and when they collide, it's going to be something quite crazy. It's going to be a hard-hitting match.
Yeah, someone's definitely bleeding.
Without a doubt.
It's definitely happening.
That didn't need to be said. That was going to happen no matter what.
Lewis, what are you looking forward to?
Like you said, like this is a true St. Louis Anarchy card. I think a lot of the new initiative shows, such as New Texas Pro, St. Louis Anarchy, West Coast Pro, and Action Wrestling, they pretty much stood true to this kind of show that they would do if they weren't in Vegas. So, I mean, this whole card looks good. I think the tag match between Unsigned and Don't Care and Cowboy Way is going to be a fight, along with Mad Dog Connolly and Derek Neal. That's going to be a fight as well. So I'm looking forward to those two. I could run down pretty much the whole card. I mean, Jeremy Wyatt and Ryan Clancy could have a technical masterpiece. Billy Starks, Davey Vega, they're both, great wrestlers. They've both been around for a while now. Laney Luck and Charlie Evans have been in, first time ever match. Charlie Evans getting really booked up this week for Las Vegas. After her surprise appearance on St. Louis Anarchy show, which was last week
against Gary J, right?
Yeah, she made a surprise appearance against Gary J, and and then announced that she's going to be in America for Vegas, and she's already getting booked up. Probably has about 5 or 6 bookings lined up, and Laney Luck, great. Laney Luck is great. So, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the shooting started, they announced it pretty early on, right? So I would imagine that most of these promotions are part of the new initiative. Probably kind of new, right? They knew which talents would be out there, so they could book shows that look naturally like a show that they would have no matter where, right? At least I'm just guessing, but that's my memory of it. It felt like they were announced early enough that we all kind of knew, oh, okay. Yeah. Speaking of, West Coast Pro, West Coast versus the World, 7 p.m. Of course, you can check this out live. I believe there's still tickets available. And we should mention, we're mentioning this new initiative. If you look at the flyer, you can get into all 5 of their shows for $175, which is a heck of a deal, I gotta say. So go check that out. So the West Coast Pro Championship on the line, Vinnie Morrow taking on Thomas Shire. That's going to be a barn burner. The West Coast Pro Women's Championship, Johnny Robbie versus Mio Mamona. The Golden Gate Championship, Andrew Cass, Adam Brooks. Adam Brooks, by the way, him when he announced he was coming to the United States, fantastic, just great. I hope everyone takes advantage of their chance to see him. The Tag Team Championships are on the line as Aaron Solo and Alan Angels take on Cajun Catch Revival, Jaya Jewel, like I said, one of my favorites, and Seabass Finn. In a match like this is one of those matches that only West Coast Pro could put on. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Ajong versus Miko Alana. Danny Luna versus Seka Akutsuki. On terrible names, like I already pronounced. Alpha Zoe versus LeBron Cozone. And Starboy Charlie versus Adam Priest. This is a heck of a card. Danny Luna also, right, she is no longer with TNA, correct?
I think she just got released, yeah.
Just that? Okay. So, anyway, this should be a fun show.
She asked for her release.
Yeah.
She didn't?
Yeah.
I thought she got it. Did she not?
Yeah, she got it. Yeah, she got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But she quit the promotion.
Good for her.
Gotta see where the world takes her. But yeah, Lewis, what do you think of this?
Yeah, like I keep saying, this West Coast Pro show is true to what they would normally do in California. The 3 women's matches alone is like the price of admission, and Miko Alana has a big opportunity facing Aja Kong. So she could come out a big star from that match, whether she wins or loses. I think people are going to be talking about it afterwards. And the Danny Luna match, I'm not sure why. This is the only show that Danny Luna has gotten announced for. I'm not sure if she's going to be announced for anything else. But I'm not sure why she's only working one show. Because, I would put her on probably every show I'm able to. I think she should be on. So, it's nice to see her on the show. If this is our only booking, I'm excited to see this match. Senka, how you say that name? Do you know how to say that name?
Akatsuki?
Senka Akusuki. She had a great showing last year against Aja Kong at Marvelous, and I think this match against Dana Luna is going to be a big test for her as well. So I think this is one to look out for as well, that match. But great card overall. Alpha Zoe versus LeBron Cozone, Starboy Charlie versus Adam Priest. This card is stacked.
Yeah, especially with once that DPW left, it's kind of some talents that I don't get to see as often as I used to, and now it's okay, good, they're getting booked in other places. But yeah, I just looked up. Yeah, I don't see, at least according to the Voice Wrestling page, as of right now. Yeah, Danny Luna not on any other show, which is interesting. You would think, but who knows? Noah, what about you? What are you thinking about this?
This is a stacked card. Without the championship matches, which I'll get to in a second. You have Alpha Zoe versus LeBron Cazone, which LeBron just got signed to MLW, and when he debuted there, he was stellar. You got Starboy Charlie versus Adam Priest, which I think is going to be a great mix of high flying and technical wrestling. Danny Luna versus Senka is going to be a great match. It is going to be a big challenge for Senka to see if she can overcome this challenger, overcome Danny. And Aja Kong versus Miko Alana is going to be quite a what's the word? I would say a powerful match. It's going to be nothing but, I think it would be kind of reminiscent of 90s Joshi wrestling, to say that. when I watch those two fight. I think it's gonna be like that. I think those are like some of the big matches. I think those are probably the 4 big matches right now. But I'm looking at that West Coast Pro Tag Team Championship with Aaron Solo and Alan Angels versus the Cajun Catch Revival. I think that match is going to be a show stealer as well. I think that those 4 competitors will definitely give you guys some highlights to reminisce about.
I was just about to say, like, they're all 4 young guys, but they've been around a while. Also, they have they've earned their stripes. So, but speaking of, because you both mentioned this, so let's move on to the Marvelous Women's Pro Wrestling Show at 10:30. So, literally that same night, Aja Kong is going up against Senka Utsuki. So, is this? I kind of what Louis? I'll go to you first. How do you think they're going to be after both of them having those 2 harding matches at West Coast Pro only a few hours before?
I don't know if they're going into this. They'll be going into this match fresh, but I mean, it's going to be a spectacle because they faced off with each other last year in Vegas, and at that time, Senka was only like a few months into the business when she faced Aja Kong, and that match last year in Vegas was probably one of the most memorable matches. Had one of the most memorable moments. I don't know if you guys seen it or remember it, but at one point Aja Kong was trying to keep Senka's shoulders on the mat and couldn't, and the crowd just went nuts for it. And I think it was one of the biggest highlights of last year. And now with more experience from Senka, I'm looking forward to seeing this rematch.
Noah, what do you think about that?
I think it's gonna be like one of the best matches. I think that's a premier match. I'd pay pay-per-view money to see that again. We now have a Senka who's back. She's back for vengeance against Aja Kong, and these two will be fighting a few hours before. I'd pay pay-per-view money just to see that. That match alone is worth the entire price of the ticket.
I mean, it like I said, if this lineup is in in card order, then yeah, it's going to be the main event. So they'll have some time to get back, but yeah, before them we have Mio Mami and Johnny Robbie taking on Spark Rush, Ai Hazan versus Miko Alana, and then Alpha Jaya Jewel, Starboy Charlie, and Vinny Massaro versus Ryan Clancy, Alan Angels, the JAC, JT Thorne. And then the other announced match of Sora Ayame versus Maya World. And then scheduled to appear Ichika Mayabi, Maria, and Rico. So again, as everyone knows, I don't really watch a lot of women's wrestling, but even those 3 women that are announced, I know their names. And then Sora Ayame versus Maya World, I know both of those talents. So Noah, I'll go to you first on this. As a Marvelous Women's Pro Wrestling card, how does this card stack up to their other shows?
I think this is a very solid card compared to most of their shows. I think there's some matches that I could see happening. With Sora Ayame versus Maya World. I'm not gonna pronounce that last name correctly. I'm so sorry. Versus Miko Alana. I think those are 2 matches that kind of stand out. If I can, the 8-way tag team match with Alpha Zoe, Jewel, Starboard Charlie, Vinny Massaro, and Ryan Clancy, Alan Angels, Jock, and JT Thorne. Like, I know you're a big PWG guy, but when I'm looking at this 8-way tag match, it kind of gives me PWG vibes. Like, these are 8 different competitors, right? So many different styles. I feel like it's going to be something fun to watch.
Ryan Clancy and Joel just, going technical. Alan Angels, versus Starboy doing the same match, and then throwing the craziness of Aldo. Vinny Massaro just being the guy that, he's I think he's probably going to be the biggest guy in there, just watching all the guys fly around him. I can see that. See that. Louis, you also watch a lot of Marvelous, right? What do you think of this card stacked up against what they usually present?
I'm not really familiar with Marvelous, though. I watched their event last year in Vegas. I thought it was really good. So, like, seeing a show like this is like I get excited for it because I get to experience talent that I've normally don't watch. Usually, so consumed with all the indie wrestling that happens every weekend in the states and elsewhere. I don't just keep up with what's happening in the U.S. I keep up with other stuff, but there's just so much wrestling that I'm not familiar with Marvelous. So I'm excited to see some of these talents. And there's also a couple of other announcements that have been made since then, just moments ago.
I forgot about that. Sorry.
If you want to mention them, Noah, you can. I think it was Magenta is coming.
Magenta is coming, and then we have a match did get announced about an hour ago for us, which is Amira versus Chica Miyabi. Oh my God, my English is bad. Miyabi, there we go. Miyabi.
Yeah, I mean
that just get nuts.
Having Namira on the card, that's a great addition. So like I said, I'm not entirely familiar with everyone, but that's the great thing about professional wrestling is you don't have to know everyone. You just sit back and watch it, and you get to experience something new.
Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of a card where I imagine we know everyone on it, Friday, April 17th at 11 a.m., Action Wrestling presents We Gambled Away the Graphics Budget. And if anyone on here listening to this hasn't seen their graphic cards, I mean, come on. Just go to Twitter or X, whatever, and just check them out. It's a lot of fun. But this show, also you can watch live on IWTV. The World Championship is on the line as Darian Bankston takes on Timothy Thatcher. That for me is I think just one of the stellar matches of the entire weekend. Yeah. Carl Greco-Malenko, who recently came back into pro wrestling, versus Mad Dog Connolly. That's going to be a barn burner. Ryan Clancy versus Adam Priest. One called Manders versus Paul Walter Hauser. And then you have Cruel, Shug D, Tyler Stevens, Terry Yaki, Jay Lucas, Jameson Shook, and Casey Owens all scheduled to appear. Tons of people on the show. This also, like Louis has mentioned before, probably would have been an action wrestling show anyway, and it's going to be fun. Oh, yeah. Lou, I'll go to you first. You're excited to see the Emmy Award-winning Paul Walter Hauser, correct?
It's probably the least excited I am out of the whole card. I love one called Manders, and I love the fact that Paul Walter Hauser respects wrestling and he's serious about it, but it's just not my cup of tea. But one called Manders he'll make it a good match. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a really bad one called Manders match. So, but like you said, this is a true action wrestling card. Darian Bankston, Timothy Thatcher might be one of the best matches of the week if they really go at it. Carl Malenko, he just returned at Action Wrestling's one of their last events. I don't know. They actually Action Wrestling runs so much. It's actually was like a few months ago, and they've ran plenty of shows since then. But Carl Malenko, he returned against I think it was Matt Mako, and for this show he's facing Mad Dog Connolly. That's going to be a good one. Ryan Clancy, Adam Priest. It's happened before, but I'm excited to see it again during one of the biggest stages of the year, WrestleMania week. So this is a good card, and I love the graphics that they've been putting out. And I can't wait to see more match announcements. There's only 4 matches so far that they've announced, so they need to be popping out some more match announcements in the upcoming days.
Noah, getting to know when you first started on the website, you and I talked a lot about yours and my our like of that King's Road style that All Japan had back during the '90s. I mean, the Malenko Connolly match is basically going to be reminiscent of that.
I'm very excited for that. I actually did not see that match before, and now that I'm seeing it, I'm very, very excited. This for 4 matches. This is one of the most stacked cards, and I need this to be heard by Matt Griffin. Give Darian Bingston and Timothy Thatcher 30 minutes. You give them 30 minutes to fight this out. I don't care. Make this an Iron Man match. Let them keep pinning or tapping each other out. I want to see that happen.
Why even put a time limit on it? Just go. Just let
them go. Just let them fight forever. Yeah. Manders and Paul Walter Hauser. I think it's going to be quite a challenge for Hauser. Manders is one of the toughest human beings in wrestling right now. Man just lost a title. He's out for blood. Hauser is the current, I think, Progress Proteus champion.
I was actually going to ask you guys: is he still the Proteus champion?
He is.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yes, he's defending it in Vegas. He'll be defending.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, he's putting $100,000 up as other prize if someone could beat him. And if I feel like, if I'm Manders and I can beat this man in action, why not just go overseas? If that man's still holding that title and he's still offering that money to see if someone can beat his ass. I mean, Manders, if anyone can do it, to him. Clancy and Adam Priest, we have seen that match before, but I am excited to see it again because Action knows how to give us something. Even if it's something that happened before, it can always feel fresh with Action.
I think so. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I recently heard on the what is it? I think it's called 6 Feet Under, the Undertaker podcast. Yeah. For me, it's like when Taker found out that him and Shawn Michaels were to go on 5th on the card. And they apparently Vince was like, "Yeah, we're going to give you guys like 15 minutes." Undertaker looked at Shawn Michaels and went, "Yeah, good luck with that." And obviously in that match, they went like what 30, 35 plus, something like that.
Yeah.
So, Thatcher, no matter what Matt tells you, just have a match. Just go. Just do it. It's not like IWTV is going to throw you off the air. Hopefully.
Oh hell
no. Yeah, as we continue, Big Time Wrestling comes up next. And with high stakes at 2:30, we have the Tag Team Championships, Los Suavecitos versus Live Danger, the Women's Championship of Bert Vixen versus Izzy Moreno, Amira, and Havoc, Viva Van versus Alexis Lee, Mo Jabari versus Jaya Jewel, Rob Van Dam and QT Marshall teaming up with Starboy Charlie versus Ricochet, Toa Leona, and Bishop on the Demand in AEW. Vaughn Vertigo versus LJ Cleary. Aaron Solo and Alan Angels teaming up to face Tomo Felipe and Slex. And KJ Orso versus Bad Dude Tito. I have not said Bad Dude Tito's name out loud in so long. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I will say that I don't Big Time that much, but this is also very much a Big Time show. Noah, do you watch a lot of Big Time, or what do you think?
I don't get the opportunity to, and after seeing this card, I have to. I'm gonna have to start watching now.
We do not see RVD on their shows a lot. I will tell you that. That doesn't.
I don't doubt that, but I think having Rob Van Dam, QT Marshall, and Starboy Charlie against the man is gonna be a great match. One thing I keep hearing, I'm gonna get off track for 1 second. Starboy Charlie, people keep talking to me about how he's like the new Rob Van Dam because of what he does with his denim and how he spray paints it. I'm like, I mean, I think right now I can see it, but I want to see more out of him. And I think this match with the both of them in the match, it's like seeing like a father and son wrestling together. Another match I'm really excited to see is KJ Orso versus Bad Dude Tito. Orso is one of the best wrestlers in the independents right now. He is one of the best heels right now, and having a solo match against Tito, I think he's going to show everyone why he should have been the main event, why he should, get title opportunity in any promotion that he's in. So I think Orso has a lot to show to these to the rest of everyone else. And then the 4-way women's championship match with Vixen, Moreno, Amira and Brooke Havoc, I think that match is going to be something quite special. That's my take.
Yeah, there was a time there when I thought Britt Vixen was actually going to get signed. So it's kind of surprising still seeing her on the scene. But Lewis, what do you think of this card? Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, that trios match with Rob Van Dam, QT Marshall, and Starboy Charlie, that is probably the most random 3 people to put together in a match.
And then taking on Ricochet, and it's just like, why?
Yeah, I mean, they're facing like an established trio of Ricochet and the Demand. And the Gates of Anarchy.
That's what they're.
What are they?
Yes.
The Gates of.
Yeah, I think
something like that.
I'm gonna time to double check this.
I'm pretty sure it's right? Gates of Agony?
Something.
Gates of Agony, right?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Gates of Agony, you're right.
Yeah, so.
See? We watch AEW.
Somewhat. But, like, yeah, that team, Rob Van Dam, QT Marshall, and Starboy Charlie, it's pretty random. And I'm not even sure if they're going to be live streaming this show. So I'm not sure if this show is going to be able to be watched live. But I don't know what they're up against. If they're up against something else, then I'll be watching that. If there's nothing on, I'll watch this. It's not a bad card. It's just not entirely my cup of tea.
It's also random, and you got to take breaks. You got to pace yourself.
Yeah. I feel like this along with the Pandemonium show are both like pretty random shows.
Well, speaking of random shows, PrideStyle, Out of This World, 6 o'clock, the World Championship on the line. Chris Nasty taking on Johnny Robbie. Again, I am going to, forgive me on the name pronunciation. Tanya versus Miyu Watanabe, Adrian Quest versus Soniko, Wind Dragon versus Nick Xander, Amira versus Lazarus, Flips, Benny the Basketball, and Air as special guest freeze. Have no idea what that means. You have the Stop Jamal versus Jermaine Marbury, El Mexica versus Dune Speed Kotohiro, and Brooke Havoc versus Charlie Evans. Not gonna lie, Noah, I think I only know 4 people on this show. So, what are your thoughts?
Thank you for bringing it towards me. I appreciate that. Because I'm in the same boat as you. But I think Tanya versus Miyu Watanabe is going to be probably one of the best matches this weekend. I think it's going to be a stellar match.
He is one of the people I know. So,
and then the fact that we might be, I don't know who the hell this is, but Benny the Basketball and Air Bud as special guest referees.
I'm assuming it's the dog. It's just going to be a golden retriever.
This is going to have a golden retriever with a referee.
Jermaine Marbury wrestles a lot for Wrestling Open. And so he's on the East Coast, and he has a mascot, Benny the Basketball, and it's just a giant basketball. It's a person in a basketball outfit.
Is it really?
And I'm not sure about Airbud. I guess that has to do with Can't Stop Jamal, maybe.
Oh.
But the dog Airbud from the movie. But Jermaine Marbury has Benny the Basketball as his manager / mascot when he wrestles here in the East Coast.
I just had to look it up because I was just very curious. This man's last name is Marbury, and I'm like, this man is nowhere related to Stephon Marbury. This man just took his whole last name. It's just, I don't know. This is such a random card. It's such a random card, but I don't hate it.
Lewis, more about some of these people. Educate me on some of these people.
Please.
Well, a lot of them are out of the Vegas area, which which PrideStyle runs at. They run in Vegas.
Yeah.
And like Chris Nasty, Sonico, Lazarus. Those are all talents that you would see on a typical PrideStyle show.
Okay.
There are some good matches here. Like, I'm not sure, like, if this is streaming as well. Like, I'm not sure what's the deal with promotions not making it clear if they're live streaming or not. A lot of them don't even mention it. So I'm not sure if this is going to be live, but there's some good matches on here, like Brooke Havoc, Charlie Evans should be good. The World Championship match between Chris Nasty and Johnny Robbie should be good as well. But like I said, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to catch this live or not. But there's some good talent on here. So if you watch it, you'll get, kind of educated on, the local scene there in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at their Twitter right now, and it doesn't. It's only mentioning their website. So yeah, I don't know. It is interesting, right, Louis? Because a lot of these shows are, particularly the ones that are part of the new initiative pack, are on IWTV. So, maybe there would have been something where they would have set it up. There's 3 shows out of the entire Shooting Star Fest that are streaming on IWTV.
Yeah, and then everything else is just like kind of guess if it's live streaming or not. Like I said, there's a lot of promotions, like in independent wrestling in general, like that don't mention if they're going to be live streaming their shows or not. I know West Coast Pro usually live streams on YouTube. Mm-hmm. They haven't mentioned if they're going to live stream the show, but I would expect them to I would expect to see that show pop up on their YouTube channel.
Probably want to make sure they have the Wi-Fi, right? So they probably want to check that out first. And if they do, great. If not, So
yeah, a lot of the promotions as well, like they end up testing it out before they even mention if they're going to live stream or not. They got to test out the internet connection. So, they'll get to the venue the day of and find out if the internet connection is strong enough to live stream. Because for some reason, we're in 2026 and, live streaming still having issues.
Hey, we've come a long way from Go Fight Live. Okay, those were the bad times.
Yeah,
that was a dark time. But yeah, let's finish this off. Flash again, PrideStyle Wrestling, Sombra La Luna at 7 p.m. The New Wave World Championship, Tanya versus Ali Catch is on the line. The Mexa Boys take on the Cartel de los Villanos. In a barbed wire coffin match, El Mexica versus Lazarus, Ira versus Senka Akutsuki, Nick Xander versus Brian Keith, and New Fever versus Sharp. So, Louis, since you're telling me a little bit more familiar, but a lot more familiar names on this show than on the previous PrideStyle show. This also feels like kind of just we got Ali Catch and Senka Akutsuki and Brian Keith all on the same show with Sonico and Chris Nasty. Like this is it seems fun, but also kind of random.
Yeah, this one has more names that you probably recognize. Like you said, Ali Catch, you got Brian Keith, names like that. This is going to be at a different venue than everything else.
Yes, it's at Ferguson's downtown. So
yeah,
yes.
Which everything else is running at the dive bar, I believe, the Bizarre Bar, something like that.
Bizarre Bar.
Bizarre Bar. Yeah. So, but there's some good stuff. Amira and Senka. I keep butchering her name, and I'm not sure because,
let's just say Senka. That makes life easy.
Senka, yeah. Amira versus Senka. That should be great. And I'm interested in seeing a lot of these matches, like Mexa Boys versus Cartel de los Villanos. and stuff like that.
Noah,
A barbed
wire coffin match.
A barbed wire coffin match. Like,
Explain that to us.
What is that?
Is the coffin wrapped in the barbed wire?
I'm assuming so.
Is the barbed wire in the coffin, and then once you shut the lid, they get impaled with it? Is that how you win? How does this work?
I would assume so. That makes the most sense to me. You know, you just throw a guy in the coffin, he's like basically impaled, you just put the coffin lid over, that's match.
Or is it that it's a coffin match, and the only legal weapon you can use is barbed wire, but if you shoot miss or hit someone with a chair, completely illegal? You
got to tune in. You got to tune in to find out, right?
Yes,
tune in to find out.
Into this historic show, if we can, as Louis has mentioned before. We have there's no streaming information on this. But yeah, Noah, what sticks out to you outside of the
Well, I think Nick Xander versus Brian Keith is gonna be a great match. Amira versus Inca. I've seen these guys wrestle. Before. The Mexa Boys versus the Cartel de los Villanos, which is Chris Nancy and Sonico, is going to be quite a match. The Mexa Boys are one of the better tag teams right now in the Indies, and I think any match that they touch is going to be quite something something that you need to go and see. It's going to be great. And then Z Sharp with G Sharp and Zara versus Shimbashi and Danny Orion, which is New Fever, is going to be another great match. I think the tag team matches in this are going to be great. Obviously, the barbed wire coffin match stands out because that is something I have never heard before. But this is actually a really, really good card. And hopefully they find a way to put it on IWTV or stream it on YouTube or something, but I can't wait to see this.
I like seeing that Zara Zakos on both PrideStyle shows.
Yeah,
it's good to have her back in professional wrestling. She's a great talent, and I hope she starts getting booked more after her a little stint with WWE ID. Get back on the indies and take control.
Well, overall, should be a lot of fun. As always, check out all the covers that we will have at pwponder.com. Noah has a ton of stuff coming out as well. Louis, always just the mainstay and the rock of the website. Guys, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
I got nothing right now. I got absolutely nothing right now. I'm still thinking about the barbed wire coffin match.
Right? So many questions. So many questions. Louis, anything you want to plug?
Now I'm thinking about it, like that barbed wire coffin match. I haven't. This is my first time seeing that it was announced. I'm not sure. I'm sure, like I've retweeted the match announcement on PW Pondering's Twitter account. But since there's so many matches, I probably just looked at it and just retweeted it and not realized the match stipulation. That's pretty nuts. I have no idea what that match is. I don't think anyone does, and we'll just find out the day of. But as far as plugs, just follow PW Ponderings on Twitter. I will never call it X. Follow PW Ponderings on Twitter, and check out pwponderings.com for any news and results for independent wrestling and for Mania Week. The whole week, it's going to be a busy week. I've kind of went over the schedule of what's going to be watched, and it's going to be a whole lot that I'm not sure if I'm ready for it.
I don't think so either. We will all be out of breath when the week is over. But as always, check us out, pwponderings.com for all the results. Tons of reviews, lots of great interviews from Scott Mitchell right now and from Noah. So thank you, as always, for supporting us, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you.
Peace.